Well, hello, audience. Thanks for joining us again. Today, I'm joined by Chris Short. He's a DevOps advocate, and he is the creator, writer, and brilliance behind DevOps.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you very much. I don't know, brilliance might be a stretch, but I'll take it.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, you have been traveling, been very busy,
Have, yes.
and talking about DevOps,
Hmm.
and a lot of your speeches have to do with DevOps is or isn't a war.
Is not.
It is
It is not
not
a
a war.
war, and we should not treat it like a potential conflict that's going to take place. Because if we do, you often like meet your fate trying to
Hmm.
avoid it. So if you're preparing for conflict, you're probably going to have a contentious moment in your digital transformation, whether it be that DevOps or Agile or whatever it is you're moving towards.
Hmm. So if it's not a war, do we have the right tools to avoid that war?
Yes and no. So I say yes in the sense that the tools that we have are just being human.
Hmm.
So if you internalize your emotions and you have empathy for your fellow human being, then yes, you do. Problem is in technology we often don't think about that too much. We think, oh yes, I
Correct.
need to hit this next checkpoint, I need to do this next deployment, I need to implement this next tool, and we often forget about the people that like have been doing this thing called business for a while now, and they are not embracing of change unless you get them to buy into it. So if
Correct.
you have that golden rule kind of mentality in your transformation, you'll go very far.
Yes, actually, interesting. This whole DevOps, because it deals with people,
Hmm.
makes it quite a challenge and a different challenge for our IT professionals.
Yes,
But your background, you have a background of coming from the Air Force.
correct.
How has the Air Force uniquely equipped you to become this DevOps advocate?
That's a good question. I mean, the Air Force teaches you a lot of things. The military in general teaches you how to lead people, how to follow people as well. So, the best aspects, I think, of a great leader are their ability to let their people just do their job and then lead them sometimes when they need to be led. Kind of I think we called it the enabling or method of leadership, where it's give people the tools to do their job and get out of the way. I think that's a huge part of technology. But on kind of like the technical level, we were doing things like Kanban and change management, configuration management on the early 2000s, late 90s. So this all is DevOps is all just kind of this culmination of things that we've been doing for a while, but it's a nice, neat package of stuff that we've put together now to help us be better at technology.
Okay. And DevOps is still, like you said, it's been around, but now it's kind of packaged.
Hmm.
It's kind of still the buzz.
Yes.
I want some of them DevOps tools.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what are some of the advice or best practices that you give to organizations that
Mhm.
are trying to embark on this DevOps
So
challenge?
yeah, the biggest thing is like it's not just a tool. It's not just a bunch of processes, right? Like I write DevOps-ish to. It has three major sections: people, processes, and tools. There's a reason they're in that order because people are the most important thing. Processes they use are the next most important thing, and the tools they implement are like the least important thing. If you don't have the culture and the skills and the processes in place, you can implement all the tools you want. You're just going to spin your wheels. You're not going to actually, enable better outcomes for your organization unless you embrace all facets of DevOps. It's not something you just buy off the shelf.
All right, you heard it. You can't go buy some of them DevOps. And lastly, Chris, what technologies are you watching
Mhm.
that might affect us in the coming years?
So I'm a Cloud Native Computing Foundation ambassador. So obviously
Okay.
I've bought into Kubernetes and all the projects that are in the CNCF framework. Uh, I think that will be the next evolution for large enterprises as they move from, we need to do things on-prem and in the cloud to full-blown cloud. It enables a little bit more flexibility. Orchestrating containers, I think, is the big challenge with just containers in general, right? Like, how do I make sure they're running? How do I make sure they're active? How do I make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? How do I make sure that they are, not running off the rails and blowing up my cloud bill kind of stuff, right? So Kubernetes is the next, thing that I'm keeping an eye on. Then after that, I feel like, the container runtime that, Docker and everybody else has kind of latched onto, that's becoming like background noise. So
Hmm.
eventually Kubernetes will become background noise as well, and there'll be more orchestration frameworks that come along with that. So whether it's Kubernetes or OpenShift today, hopefully there'll be more coming after that that will, evolve us into the future.
Well, audience, you've heard it here. DevOps is more than tools, it is people, culture. And thank you, Chris, for coming. We appreciate it. And tune into DevOps Daily on the internet and Twitter.
Thank you very much.